Okay, so what you're going to do for this assignment, and this is the one where you are essentially coming up with some adjectives and then trying to do kind of an abstract little scribble that, gives meaning to that word. So, and I'll do a smaller version of it here, but what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to split your paper into 6 different sections. So usually what I like doing is I'll do this, and really, I want you guys to do this a little bit larger. I'm doing it a little bit smaller just because, again, I'm recording this on my phone. And I think it's going to be a lot easier for you guys to see if I do it this way. But I would do, more like 14 by 17. You can always go larger. And on this one, you don't have to do this on your bristle board. You can do this one on drawing paper, or you can do it on a sheet of drawing paper. So if you're, say, in a drawing class, or you've taken drawing, you've got that 18 by 24 inch paper, then you can use that. Okay. And, you can tell my sections aren't perfectly the same, like maybe one or two of them are a little bit bigger, and that's okay. And even here where I'm doing my lines, I'm not really using a ruler. If a ruler helps you, go for it, use it. But I think that's okay. And this one, again, it's more of a study. It's more of like a little practice run. And that's what this assignment is. In some ways, this assignment is actually a practice run for what you're going to do on the next assignment. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is come up with 6 different words, 6 different adjectives. Okay, so, and a lot of times what I'll tell people too is, use the dictionary app, like download a dictionary app onto your phone. And there's always like a thesaurus part of it where you can find words that are a little bit, a little more descriptive and make you think a little bit more. Okay. So, again, like say slow, you could punch in the word slow and then you might find stuff like lethargic or, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something else, but you can find another word that, we don't use as commonly, which in some ways I think works better for this assignment because it makes you think a little bit more. Okay. But really any 6 adjectives, and I would pick things that are kind of different. So I'm just going to use really generic ones. And the reason I'm doing that, not because I'm trying to be lazy, because that way I'm not doing ones that, I'm doing something that you might not do. Okay, because like I said, try to pick out, like say I'm going to use the word fast. You could use like quickly or speedy, or, you could come up with something else that kind of means the same thing, but again, we don't use as commonly, so I think it helps you be a little more creative. Fast, slow, I don't know. I'll just put them down here. Let's do angry. Let's do like sleepy. And I don't know, let's see. I'll put excited. Sorry, that's my Homer Simpson clock. If you heard that in the background, it's the Homer Simpson cuckoo clock. And I don't know, let's see. What's a good word here? As I'm working on this, I'll think of something else. Okay, so again, you're not trying to draw me a picture. Okay, so like sleepy, you don't want to draw like a bed. You don't want to draw somebody like asleep. You're trying to convey the meaning of it more with like how it's drawn. Okay. So, I don't know, let's start with the word slow. Okay, so if you're thinking of the word slow, how could you describe that as some kind of like abstract scribble or an abstract line? So something you wouldn't want to do, let's say with the word slow, if I went like, and did all that, okay? To me, when I look at this, it doesn't really give me the feeling of it being slow, okay? That's probably a little better for fast, okay? So that's sort of what you're doing on this one, is that you're creating some kind of mark or scribble. You don't want it to look like anything. We're not working representational. You're not going to draw me a person's face or, rainbows or clouds or anything like that. You're trying to convey it with the direction of the line or how many lines or how heavy you push down with a pencil, or what kind of lines. It could be dots, it could be, scribbles, it could be really, flowing, simple lines. Again, depending on what the word is, that's what you're trying to do. Okay, so like I said, this would be a horrible example of slow. And same thing with fast. If I did this, there we go, is my example of fast. Okay, that's probably not going to work very well either, because it's a little bit too steady. It kind of goes straight and horizontal. Okay, actually, in some way, even if I was just going to use one line, like a diagonal, would probably even would be better. If I did this, that's probably better. Example of fast than what I had the first time. Okay, something like this might be a little bit better. Okay, what I did over here, this would be a better example going over here. You gotta think of the direction of things. So like a diagonal always tends to convey motion. Something's fallen over, it's more of a diagonal angle. When the wind's blowing, the trees kind of bend, that means they're kind of diagonal. Okay, horizontal lines kind of convey something soothing and calming. And lines that are vertical tend to kind of convey something of like strength. Okay, again, like a really strong, sturdy tree is going to be vertical. A giant building is going to be vertical. Okay, so just thinking about the things that you see around you, the angles or directions, that also kind of gives it meaning. If you have more, like fluid, curvy lines that are really organized, that's going to give you something different. This will give you a different feeling than that one would. Okay, so that's what you got to think about. And like I said, if you look up some words that we don't tend to use every day, it makes it a little bit more complicated, and it makes you think a little more. But that's kind of the fun part. It makes you solve a whole different problem. Like I said, I picked some really simple things. Like this might be a good one for angry too. The same thing I did there. And then sleepy, I don't know. To me, sleepy, I don't know. I could do something like this where it's, and there's not really a right or wrong answer on how you do these. But to me, sleepy, like you feel very heavy, or, things are kind of dragging. So that's why I kind of drew this one like that. And and again, there's other ways to do this same word. It doesn't have to be exactly the way I did it there. Okay, but there should be some kind of reasoning as to why you drew the line the way you did. Okay. But again, that's what this assignment is. You come up with 6 different adjectives. Okay, and I didn't think of something over here. Let's say, let's see. I can't think of anything right now. How about, I already did. I was going to do tired, but I did sleepy already. Let's say nervous. That's a good one. Okay, so I don't think that's quite a nervous line, but again, that's what I would do. I'd have to draw some kind of squiggle, or a bunch of squiggles, or a bunch of lines that to me would convey the feeling of nervous. Same thing. This was my example for sleepy. I know. Could I come up with better ones than that? Probably, but this assignment isn't about making it perfect. It's just about you trying to think about how can you use lines and marks, different textures, or anything, shapes. You can even do these as shapes. How you can use those to convey meaning. Okay, because that's some of what happens in artwork. Okay, if you're doing a movie poster for, like, say, a horror film, you're going to have different colors and shapes and textures than you would if you're doing a movie poster for, like, a Pixar movie. Okay, one's kind of aimed for kids, and the other one's for, like, grown-ups that like, slasher films or scary movies, or, all kinds of crazy things. And so that's what you want to think about, is that anything you do, there's all kinds of other factors that will determine what kind of story it tells. Okay, and you're just doing a really simplified version of that one. But this